So, welcome you all once again on day three on the discussion of Lord Jagannath. So, we'll try to uh, let, let's see how much we can discuss about Lord Jagannath. It's a ocean over the past of Lord Jagannath. So, let's pray to Lord Jagannath so that he actually uh, showers his causeless mercy onto us and fulfills our desire to go back to Godhead, our desire to serve His lotus feet, and our desire to bring Jal Jagannath into our heart. Okay, okay, let's pray him some prayers. देव देव जगन्नाथ प्रपन्नार्थी विनाशन त्राहि मां पुण्डरीकाक्षात् पतितं भवसागरे जय देवी भक्तिदात्री प्रसिद्धा प्रमेश्वरी जय देवी सुभद्रा त्वं सर्वेषां भद्रदायिनी नमस्ते तु हलाग्राह नमस्ते मूषलायुध नमस्ते रेवती कांत नमस्ते भक्तवत्सल सुदर्शन महाज्वाल कोटि सूर्य समप्रभा अज्ञानतिमिराधानं वैकुंठ पथ प्रदर्शक नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So welcome you all once again, and today, so yesterday in last two sessions we have discussed about how Lord Jagannath appeared, and yesterday we concluded like how this temple was created, like by Inaduna Maharaj, and Inaduna Maharaj was the one of the first person actually to see Lord Krishna in that form, because he just knew about this form, and Narad Muni told him that yes, this is the ultimate form of Lord as well, and so hence we'll continue today with the same discussion. And we have discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam earlier as well that there were different kind of process for self-realization in different ages. Like so, in Sati Yuga they used to do meditation. In Dwapara they used to do a yajna, and in Treta they used to do yajna, and Dwapara they used to do worshipping Lord, and in Kali Yuga is Harinama Sankirtana. So these are the process of self-realization in different ages. In the similar way, uh, each ages, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, there are different sthapanas or deities. Like it says Satya Yuga is the Badrinath, and in Treta Yuga it's Lord Rama, Shri Rameshwaram, and in Dwapara it's Dwarkanath, Dwarkadish you can see, and in Kali it's Lord Jagannath. So having darshan of Lord Jagannath Dham in Kali Yuga actually is being described that, also we discussed yesterday too, that if we somehow or other could not do all other three dhamas, so in India we know that we should do this four dhama, right? But somehow or other, if we cannot go other dhama, and if we can go to the Jagannath Puri dhama, that actually we fulfill uh, all the all we fulfill the desire, or we'll fulfill everything going to other pilgrimage or other dhamas as well. So even if I remember, even uh, in the back side of Lord Jagannath, there is an entry, in the north, and there they have made a small temple of that's called as Chatuta Dham. If you can't go there, you just circumambulate there. You can get the benefit of going around all these other three dhamas as well, right? So that's how. So Sati Yuga, Badrinath Dham, and Treta Rameshwaram, Dwapara it's Dwarikanath, and in Kali Yuga it's Lord Jagannath or Jagannath Dham. And yesterday we discussed nicely that the the importance of pulling the chariot. Like, so the importance of pulling a chariot is bringing Krishna or Jagannath to towards Vrindavana to meet Brajavasis, to meet Radharani, and is the bhava of Jagannath. And another aspect we discussed about, like, by this, by while pulling the chariot, we can actually pray to Lord Krishna that please come and reside in our own heart as well. Please reside in my heart too, right? So that's again important point of dharma. So it happens that we might not be able to go to different dharmas, but if you can purify our heart, if you can associate with the devotees, if you can read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, if you can hear Nama Sankirtana, if you can hear about the glories of Lord, pastimes, then also we can create our own heart as dharma, and Krishna can reside in our dharma as well. Right? Okay. So going ahead, we have discussed about that Nidana Maharaj. He actually, Lord Brahma came and Lord Brahma did the Pranapatishtha and the first arti of Lord Jagannath, and then a small chariot being made, and Lord Jagannath went to the sixth temple. After that, it happens like Lord Jagannath was pleased with the service of Indradona Maharaj, and once he asked, said, "Okay, you can ask something, some boon from me." And some devotee explains that even Indradona Maharaj, he by his own he says, "Okay, I have some wishes to be fulfilled, so please fulfill that." So in the both way, so there is a discussion happened between Lord Jagannath and Indradona Maharaj. So Indradona Maharaj, he asked three boons. He said, "Okay, I have three, not just one." Right. So first one, he says that I do not desire to have son. Lord Jagannath was it? What is it? So if you see, normally everyone in this world actually they desire to have son, and there's a desire. The wife they used to pray, let give me us son and like that. But you are asking no son. Lord Jagannath said, okay. The reason what is given, like the acharyas they says, or devotees they explain that another Maharaj said that I don't want son because that if I die and my son remain, then he will claim that this temple is mine. So I do not want anyone to get his proprietorship of this temple. Right. So that's how he says, I don't want my son, or I don't want any son. And the second boon he asks that you eat, eat, and eat. So Lord Jagannath, he actually always used to eat. See, he is the one actually, we'll discuss it about his kitchen. His kitchen is non-stop. It's no every time it's 24 hours is in cooking going on over there. So what Inodana Maharaj says that he says you eat prasadam, you eat your prasad, and as soon as you wash your hand, without your hand getting dried, you should start eating again. Right. So that's the second boon. Or wish Indra Maharaj asked to Lord Jagannath. And Lord Jagannath said, "Wow, so that's okay." So he's actually eating and eating, and that's actually in the other way. He actually fulfilled in from this boon. He's actually fulfilling the desire of Mother Parvati, and so that all the living entities as we are, we will good get abundant amount of prasadam, because it comes from to prasad as Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, and then it goes to Bimla Devi, so it becomes Mahaprasad, right? And then we all can honor it. We'll discuss a bit about prasad as well, and in the next half. And the third boon, he asks that I prefer, I wished you should not sleep, or you can sleep just for one prahara, right? So in 24 hours, there are 8 praharas. One prahara is basically around 3 hours, right? We say them now. So in the 12 hours, 4 prahara, and the night, 12 hours, 4 prahara. So Lord Jagannath temple actually, so what was the reason? The reason for this that as the temple remains open, so as many person or people they can come and take darshan throughout the day, throughout the night as well, right? So it's being described very nicely that even we have seen that Lord Jagannath is round eye, broad dilated eye, and no eyelids, but and in that way Jagannath doesn't sleep as well, not just 3 hours. So Indra Maharaj says you should get three sleep of one prahara, that is 2 to 3 hours, but Jagannath even doesn't sleep that. So what happens is whenever the door gets shut, the devatas, all the devatas and the demigods, they actually come and take darshan of Lord Jagannath. So that's why Lord Jagannath never sleeps. So we'll discuss a pastime again, maybe either next Monday or Tuesday, uh, by the proof that the devatas, they actually come to see Lord Jagannath. So from 24 to 24 hours, some 2021 hours, it's an open for all, general people, public to go and take darshan. And for the next 2 to 3 hours, it's actually all the devatas, they come and take darshan, Indra, Chandra, Vibhishan, Hanumanji, and everyone actually, they used to come and seek darshan every single day. Just imagine. So that's how Lord Jagannath never sleeps, 24 by 7 he's awake, right? And so that was three boon being asked by, three wishes being asked by Indra Maharaj to, for Jagannath. He says first that I do not want any son. And I thought I was hearing a lecture by Amrita Prabhu. He says, even Indra Maharaj says no kings would have son in Puri, right? So then second is he should eat and eat. So there are so many, I will discuss about this question, how much prasadam is being cooked all the time, regularly is being cooked. And the Mara says, as soon as you wash your hand, before drying of your hand, water, you should start eating again, prasad. So that's how Krishna, he eats and eat. And that's why that Dhama is actually, is being described very nicely, that if anyone can go and have Mahaprasad there in the temple, is anyway liberated, is go back to Godhead. No more in this material world. No life again in this material world. And the third one, he says, I say that, you should sleep for very 2 or 3 hours, but Jagannath again doesn't sleep that much as well. So after this, so these are the three main burns or wishes being asked by Guru Maharaj, and Lord Jagannath says Tathastu. It's all as you wish, it will get fulfilled. Now we'll try to discuss about some of the aspects of Jagannatha. Before going that, let's try to discuss about this. I'll take a couple of verses by Sanatana Goswami and by Narada Muni about the glories of uh, Sri Kshetra. So it has very different name of Puri Jagannath. It can be called as many places like you know, it's been called as Puri, Purushottam Kshetra, Shri Kshetra, Shankha Kshetra, even Narsimha Kshetra. So these are the different names being given to this place. So this place, again we'll go there, but before that, let's recite some of the prayers and some of the verses on the glories of this Nilachal Dham. So Sanatana Goswami, he quotes a verse that's by Lord Brahma in the Brahma Purana. It says, Aho Kshetrasya Mahatmaya Samstat Dasha Yojana Nivistha Yatra Pashyanti Sarvan Eva Chaturbhujam. So that place, it says Dasha Yojana means 80 miles in whole circumference. It says the glory of that place, it comes in 80 miles. It comes nearly 120 kilometers nearly. And when one goes there, he sees that everyone is a four-armed resident of Vaikuntha. So just imagine in that 80 miles area is being described. I was reading in another book. It's being said that when the devatas, they actually look on this place, they could see that everyone, not just human being, everyone, the birds and the bees and the animals and everyone, they looks Chaturbhuja, four-armed, because they are all somehow or other associates of Lord Jagannath. They are actually serving Lord Jagannath in somehow or other. So everyone in that place is Chaturbhuja. That's why one who goes there in that place, that area, he actually goes back to Godhead. He's got a ticket to go back to Godhead, right? And in Garuda Purana, is being says that that I told you, like when the devatas in heaven they see that the people are four-armed resident in Vaikuntha, holding a conch shell, chakra, and the lotus in their hand, again and again they get faint. So you say Mohayanti Muhur Muhur. So this the devatas when they see that, oh, how come these people they looks like 400, like they're holding conch shell, chakra, and Gada Padma, and that's how they get fainted by seeing this. And Narada Muni he says that Chaturbhuja Jana Sharve Drishyanti Yan Nivashinaha. So the people who live there are all seen to be four-armed resident of Vaikuntha. So just can you imagine that anyone who take birth in the place of Lord Jagannath or Jagannath Puri in that area, that those are being seen as four-armed residents of Vaikuntha. So it means from Vaikuntha they come directly here to serve Lord Jagannath, right? And there are again a lot of more discussion or glories of that place, but I'll just stop here. But just 2 or 3 verses, and so that's how this place is being said that again. Uh, in the Mahatma, it's been said in Vishnu Purana, explains that in the country of Orissa, in Nilachala, in Purushottam Kshetra, the spiritual and blissful personality of Godhead appears as wooden deity known as Lord Jagannatha. So Lord Jagannath is called as Daru Brahma. Daru means wood, and Lord himself appears in Daru form, in a wooden form. So why? We discussed in the very first, that because Lord Brahma, while he was creating, the secondary creation started. He says, "Oh my goodness, what I'm making!" And in this creation, everyone will be misery. They will be suffering. And how can they get liberated? How can they get something, some blissfulness in this metal world? And the Lord Krishna said, "Don't worry, I'll create this place." And this place is there. That's Nilachala Kshetra, right? So, and we have discussed earlier in Srimad Bhagavatam season that Lord Krishna, by his causeless mercy, he appears in different matters. Like he comes in wood, he comes in metal, he comes in stone. So these are not actually stones, these are not stone, wood. They are actually Krishna has come personally in those things, so that we can serve him, and have some loving relationship towards him, right? So when we offer prasadam, we used to offer prasad with love and devotion. Krishna says, patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktaya prayashyati. So Krishna doesn't want opulent. Yes, if we can offer it opulently, that's great. But Krishna says, patram pushpam phalam toyam, just mere flower, water, leaves, I'm satisfied. The condition is yome bhaktaya prayashyati, that there should be love and devotion. So these deities are actually, by worshipping them, we can have a relationship with them. And I've shared earlier as well, but I got it again. I think it was His Holiness Yogendra Maharaj. Uh, One devotee asked him that, Maharaj, what should I do to take the next step in the spiritual path? And he asked, how many family members do you have? He says, no, we are four, myself and my wife and 2 kids. So Maharaj says, just make it five. So you might surprise, okay, just make it five means what? He says five means bring Krishna to your home. That's it. You can bring Krishna by bringing Srimad Bhagavatam. You can bring Krishna by bringing the deities, Jagannath, Laddu Gopal, Lord Dev, Panchatattva, and by just you make your surrounding, your house, another temple, because Krishna is there, and every activity of the home surrounds around Krishna, and that's become a Dham, that's become a temple. So very, very easy solution Maharaj gave, isn't it? And then once Krishna is there, what you can do? You can do to please him, you can chant his holy name, you can do kirtan, you can do arti, you can offer your food and then have your prasad, right? So that very nicely we can turn our home as dharma. All right. So let's go to the next part. This is basically Mahatma, a very, very, very brief, I will say very, very brief. Just we can't go more briefer than that about the Purushottam Kshetra Mahatma. So that's so glorious Jagannath Puri is. And if you have been there, that's glorious. If you not have been there, please visit it. And then uh, we discussed about Rath Yatra, and we discussed very nicely about what should be the mood of Rath Yatra. The mood is to invite Krishna to our own heart. While pulling the chariot, we can see Lord Krishna and pray him, please come to my heart. Please give your causeless mercy to me. Please give us causeless mercy to us, isn't it? And then once we get, we can spread it. As Prabhupada did, there was a tradition of it's an old, the I think oldest festival you can say is the cart pulling or Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath. And Srila Prabhupada brought this to whole world, right? And every major cities in the world, they celebrate Rath Yatra. They take out Jagannath, Baladeva, Subhadramai, and go out on the road and dance, chant. So aspects of Rath Yatra is Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala, and due to some regions, uh, all other caste people, they are not allowed to enter in the temple, in the Jagannath Puri temple. Right? It's just a Hindu are allowed, not others are allowed. So, however, he is so merciful that once in a year he comes out himself to see all his devotees. So I was sharing it again that I think Mataji was sharing that when the people they pull the rope, or they pull the chariot with the rope, and no one asks there, are you Hindu, are you Muslim, are you Sikh or something, are you from India or from UK or from US, or where are you from? No one asks anything, isn't it? So everyone's focus is actually to take darshan of Jagannath, or Jagannath take darshans of the person. And I remember while even many times I've seen while seeing this Rath Yatra, I've seen so many different caste people over there in the Rath Yatra, and that's how the glories of Rath Yatra is. Jagannath comes himself to shower his causeless mercy to everyone. No, there's a verse comes in Chaitanya, I do not remember completely. It says, uh, the essence is, it doesn't see the patra sthana. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't see is about the quality. He doesn't see how opulent you are. He just showers his mercy to everyone, right? So in the similar way, Lord Jagannath comes out on his chariot and showers his blessing, showers his mercy to each and every living entity. So that's how, normally in our ISKCON, the Westerners, they could not enter temple, but on Rath Yatra they go and then they see Lord Jagannath uh, on the own chariot, right? And we discussed about that anyone who sees Lord Jagannath on the chariot or pulls the chariot door, everything's his karma finishes. And I was hearing a lecture it being described a long back. I heard it that when the person leaves his body, when he dies, actually there's a flashback goes in front of Yamaraj, and then he decides where to throw, or where to either to elevate or to degrade the person, right? And as soon as in this film he sees the person is pulling Rath Yatra, or he has taken darshan of Lord Jagannath, next part becomes blank. So he understands that okay, now he's liberated, let him go back to Godhead. Right. So that's the essence of Rath Yatra. And then the second aspect, I mean, there are many, but in our discussion, the second aspect comes is his eyes. So Krishna's eyes, or Jagannath's eyes, is completely round, and there is no eyelid. You remember the gopis? They actually they say is that who is the one who have created our eyes, that it goes eyelid and it blinks every few seconds, and we could not see Krishna very well there. Basically, they blame to Lord Brahma, right? And but here, Lord Jagannath doesn't have any eyelid as well. Right? I'll share something very nicely. It was said by Amrendra Prabhu. Uh, his eyes are actually like a magnifying glass. He has very big eyes, and Jagannatha, as he said, that is magnifying glass. Jagannatha actually magnifies the good quality of the devotees. So if we serve Jagannath even a bit, He enlarges it and says, wow, he is serving me, right? And on the other hand, if we make some fault, he closes his eyes. He doesn't see this fault. So that's a mercy of Lord Jagannath. And the learning it comes that as a living entity, as people we are in this mortal world, we should try to see good in other people and just do not hear, do not see anything about the bad qualities of others. So Lord Krishna's eye is round, and we can take this learning. And the second point, it says, there are so many thousands and thousands of people that actually take darshan of Jagannath every day. And if Krishna has eyes, eyelids, and if he blinks, some devotee may pass away from the door and he could not see. So that's why he doesn't have any eyelids, so that he's completely looking at every angle, that oh wow, this devotee has come, this devotee has come, this devotee has come to see me. Right. So that's the second aspect of Lord Krishna's eye, that he sees. So in this point, he was sharing a nice point. He says that the senses objects are being seen, and the eye become the seer. So isn't it? I can see the sense of the objects, nothing else. However, the eyes become the seen, and the mind become the seer. And the mind is seen, the soul becomes the seer, and the soul is being seen, and the super soul become the seer. So I repeat, the sense object are being seen, and I become the seer. The eyes are seen, mind becomes the seer, or mind sees the eyes, or the mind becomes the mind being seen, and the soul become the seer. The soul being seen, the super soul become the seer. So actually, the point is, Jagannath actually sees us, right? Isn't it? So he put an example to understand this point. He says, so when we become sick, our friends and relatives, they ask, do you see the doctor? What does that mean? So it mean, do we go and see the doctor, or we treat doctor? No, that means, do you go and see the doctor and let doctor treat you? Isn't it? Let doctor treat you. We don't treat doctor. So that's basically being said. Do you see doctor, or have you been checked by doctor? So in a similar way, so do we go to temple and see Lord, or let ourselves being seen by Lord? Right. So we can, in the mode is, we can go temple and stand there for a good time. We can have interaction to eye contact with Lord, and let Lord see us nicely. And that's very, very important point. Again, he in his lecture he said that Krishna's glance is is amazing, right? Krishna's glance is amazing. So in Krishna's pastime, we have seen when the cowherd boys, they drank the water of Yamuna, where Kalia became made poisoned, and they lie down unconscious, and just by Krishna's glance, all the poison is went out, and all the cowherd boys, they stand up again. We have discussed this part, right? Isn't it? And just by mere glance, he creates this whole cosmos. So just imagine if Lord Jagannath, because he's same as Krishna, Jai Gaura Shri Krishna Shri Jagannath. So just imagine if we let ourselves being seen by Krishna, can't he kick out our lust, pride, anger from our heart? Right? Can't he give us a good fortune? Definitely he can give us a good fortune. Definitely he will throw out this all enviousness, qualities like lust, greed, pride from our heart. Right? So that's a very, very important point about the Lord Jagannath eyes. So the problem is that uh, we don't let ourselves being seen by Lord Krishna. Right? So then again, the third aspect of this eyes is, says Krishna, he never sleeps. So Lord Jagannath, he awakes 24 by 7, 365 days, awake all the day. And the devatas they come and see every day. We'll discuss this pastime again, maybe next week sometime. It's being said that, once, okay, let me narrate this pastime and we can go ahead. So once what happened, a pujari was there, and he was actually a panda. He water worshipping, he was coming out, and as he went out, he could see that he could imagine that someone is following him, and that's a very tall person. But and then he started trembling. He started calling Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, and started going away. But he could see that the person is again following with a very very fast way towards him, and then without any thought he turned back and says, "Who are you? Why are you following me?" And that person was actually very huge. Someone describes it 18 feet, someone says 30 feet. So the person was quite huge. It's, I think this story is nearly around 1800, so not far, right? So, and then he says, "I am Vibhishan." So he was shocked. Vibhishan means, yes, yes, I am the brother of Ravana. I am Vibhishan, you know. So I'm Chinma, I don't die. So that's how. And then he says, "What is the proof that you are Vibhishan?" And then, definitely he was quite. And then he's asked, "Why are you following me?" He says, you serve Jagannath very, very nicely. So I got pleased and I wanted to see you. So, and then he says, "Okay, uh, can we give something?" And the devotee was saying nicely this past time. He says, uh, the time there was no phone, no selfie, so he could not take any photo or selfie with Vibhishan. He said, "Okay." And then Vibhishan, he said, out of love, he gave his armlet to this panda, and that, can you imagine, 18 feet huge person having a armlet, and it's been described that that armlet is the size of wheel of a cart, bullock cart, right? And somehow or other, this panda he pulled out to this place, and that wheel is still there. That's called as Patta Joshi Mahapatra house. It's still there. You can go and see this chakra as well, like this armlet of Vibhishan. So that's again a proof that every day the Devata visits. And even I read somewhere that all the Devatas actually they visit, Vibhishan, Hanuman, and others. They visit every single day and take darshan of Lord Jagannath, right? And then the next point about this glory of Jagannath is Mahaprasad, right? So we may say, okay, like we have to chant the holy name to get to go to spiritual world to get service, but it has been described that anyone who eats Mahaprasad is liberated. Just imagine. So that's the glories of Mahaprasad. And on the very first day, we discussed about this glories of Mahaprasad, of how Mother Parvati, she became angry with Lord Shiva because Lord Shiva didn't give Mahaprasad to Mother Parvati, and how Narad Muni was in ecstasy. He was dancing completely just by having one morsel of Mahaprasad. And the important point here comes is the Mahaprasad of Lord Jagannath, it never ever get polluted. So what does that mean? Never get polluted means even a dog can have the morsel and he throw it out this Mahaprasad from his mouth. That prasad can is not contaminated. It can be again eaten by even a brahmana. So that the point is the Mahaprasad never get contaminated. And if you happen to go to Puri and never ever say that this prasad or this plate becomes remnant, it never becomes jutha. It's always fresh, always never get contaminated. That's the Mahaprasad. And it's being also described that the glories of kitchen of Jagannath Puri, that the kitchen is actually completely dark. It's only there are nearly 5 to 6 hundred of stoves, and that I know in India is called as chula. So that stoves that it doesn't need any you know gas or anything. It's always runs by the firewood, and uh, and in that kitchen is being said that Srimati Radharani herself, Lakshmi Devi herself, they are actually come and cook for Jagannath. So just imagine that prasad is actually we get. So how merciful Krishna is, how merciful Lord Jagannath is, that he showers his blessings through his prasad, and by taking that Mahaprasad, go back to Godhead. That's it, right? So I remember one past time actually it happened with me in this connection. So just 3 years back, when I went to India, and it was very quiet time, quite when a very less time, just 3 weeks. and I had to do many things in the 3 weeks. So I went to Jagannath Puri. The very next day, I reached my home. I reached my home in the morning, and in the night, I had my train to Jagannath. So I went to Jagannath Puri, and as I was alone, so there was no problem. I was free to move here and there wherever I wished, and I went entered the temple for many times in the day. And then when I entered the temple, and I somehow the other had a desire that no, I want to eat prasad uh, with hot, like no, like just being cooked and popped, and then I'm eating it like that. I had a desire in me, and I called one of my friend, and he says, no, just for one person, I won't be able to ask my someone others to arrange something for you. So somehow it didn't happen, but again I was in the temple inside, and there's a miracle happened over there. So I could see my spiritual master coming in the temple. So I was not aware at all, and I was just looking to Lord Jagannath from the Garuda Stamba inside. And as I just blinked my eyes from one side to here, I could see my spiritual master standing before me. I just fell down on the floor, and then that's this goosebumps are coming as of now as well by remembering that past time. So, and then there's a long discussion happened with Maharaj and others, and then I came out from that with all these devotees and my Guru Maharaj, and the devotee came with a pot of prasad. Even I didn't notice this. He asked me, okay, and then he's giving one spoon to everyone. As it came, I put my hand, and it was completely hot prasad on my hand. So I had a desire to have this hot prasad in the morning, and Jagannath is so merciful that he fulfilled in the evening, on the very same day. And yeah, earlier actually when I was in college, I was reading in Bhubaneswar, and then I was a friend called Sunil Panda. So we used to visit temple many a time, and actually we used to visit his home. We used to go to take the ocean, and then come back and then have prasad in temple. So he used to bring the time banana leaf, and as he was panda and his father actually serving there, so we used to get all just offered prasad, Mahaprasad, and we used to go around over there, and our friends used to have all hot, fresh prasad over there, right? So that's basically Mahaprasad. And I was talking about kitchen. So in the kitchen, uh, as I said, 5 to 6 hundred of stoves are there, and it's completely dark. And the people who are serving there, and they used to have complete, there they have they used to, I can say as mask, like they used to put cover their nose and mouth, because you can't say anything. Might be some contamination can happen over there, and every time is being cooked by the firewood only. Nothing else is there, and then actually there are kind of 8 to 10 groups. This is called as servitors. So these are the groups of servant, and they have a dedicated service for this. Like one lineage or family, they used to just only go for shopping the fruits or vegetables. They don't have any other things. Just they will go and shop it. And some set of groups of people, the devotees, they are actually only for cutting or chopping the vegetables. And some sets they will just only go and they give offering to Lord Jagannath, and some they will all be in the kitchen. So in that way this kitchen happens. So when you go to temple, actually if you go enter the temple, and without entering temple, you can take your left and cross over there. You will see a one Ganapati temple, and just take left of that. If you go out from that, I think it's I think west one, and then you take left from there, you will see the kitchen over there, and there's a token for 2 or 3 rupees. You can say give it to that, and you can go and watch this whole things. And you can put your eyes, and then you can see it's all dark room, but there are so many devotees. They are cooking prasada for Lord Jagannath, right? And then it's always being said that whenever the pujari, the main panda, they used to offer bhoga to Lord Jagannath, they used to take water on their hand, and they used to pray some prayers, and they used to see in that water. They actually could see Lord Jagannath in that water, and then Lord Jagannath accept that offering. And whenever it happens that the Panda could not see Lord Jagannath, all the bhoga was being cooked. They actually are being dumped. It's not offered given to anyone else. So that's his devotees and Mahaprasad and the kitchen, right? And
Prabhu, could you repeat the last with the bhog,
yeah,
dark room and what?
so the kitchen is very dark. That's what I'm saying.
Uh,
Kitchen is
uh-huh,
dark. There is no light in that. While offering the bhoga, the
uh-huh,
panda actually he used to take water on his hand. He
uh,
should chant prayers and invite Jagannath. So if he could see the Jagannath in the water,
mm-hmm.
then only the bhoga being offered to Lord Jagannath. Otherwise, that whole bhoga being dumped. Right. So sorry for
Every
taking.
day happens.
Sorry.
So every day this has to happen.
Every time when they offer bhoga, not every
Oh,
day. Every
wow.
time.
I never knew this.
Okay. Okay. So sorry for taking a bit more time today. I might take some 5-10 minutes more, and then the next aspect of a Pausi's hand, right? So if you see that is its Mahabhav Prakasha form, he in completely ecstasy by hearing his own glories and in separation of the Brajavasis. So in that form, he could see that his hands are actually out, and it's like embracing. He is in the form of embracing to all his devotees. So by eyes actually he is completely always awake and watching his devotees, and with hands he is actually there to embrace us. And uh, uh, again, this note I've taken out from Ramendra Prabhu's class is he says that Krishna moves his hand and gives mercy, right? He says when Krishna takes flute or the same person takes flute, he is called as Krishna. And when the same person takes bow and arrow, he is called as Rama. And when he moves out his hand ahead, it's Jagannatha. When the same personality take his hand up, it says Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he takes one hand up, he is called as Girdhari. And when he takes both hands on his waist, he is called as Vithala. So by moving his hand, Krishna showers mercy to all of us. Just imagine. And the point here is Krishna is actually Jagannath is so merciful that he is eager. He is eager to embrace us. His hands are already there. You know, if you can, I think definitely you all have experienced this. So when the child, stands and started walking, right, the parent they used to put their hand like that. Okay, come, 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 and as soon as the child comes, they embrace them. So, wow, very good, well done, well done. You walked 3 steps, 4 steps today, right? So in that mode, Lord Jagannath is already there, and he is asking us because we are his son, isn't it? And he's asking us to come, and I'm ready to embrace you all. So that's we need to take a step further towards Lord Jagannath so that he embraces us, and with his embrace, actually, we can't imagine what bliss we will get out of that, right? So that's what uh, for today's discussion is basically Lord Krishna, Jagannath. He is completely willing us to embrace all this conditioned soul, all conditioned souls without, as I said this verse earlier, I didn't remember a complete verse. It says, patra dekhe na patra dekhe na dekhe sthana asthana. So he doesn't seize anyone who is qualified, not qualified, rich, poor, you know, from America, from India, from UK, from USA, right? So he's already eager to uh, shower his mercy to us. He's already always eager to embrace us. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being so merciful, he has just says that by chanting the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we can actually feel that blissfulness of Jagannath embracing us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he lived for 18 years in Jagannath Puri. He made his Jagannath Puri as his headquarter. And basically in Rath Yatra, I'm keeping this point again for next Tuesday. I'm hoping to continue this session again for more 3-4 days again, so that so many things we can discuss and see as well, right? So the last point, this place Jagannath Puri is also, he's called as Puri Dham, is also called as Purushottam Kshetra. See, this Kshetra is so dear that Krishna has given the name of this Kshetra as Purushottam Kshetra. Purushottam is Krishna himself. Is that there is no one, no, when we say the best, so the best man, he can only claim that I am the best and no one is, right? We may be best for some time, but we can't be best for every time or all the time. But Krishna or Jagannatha, he is the best each and every time. His name is Achyuta, he's infallible, right? So that's Purushottam Kshetra. It also is called as Bhushwarga. So it's called as, heaven in the bhuloka, or in the earth. And he's also called, this place is also called as Shankha Kshetra. So this Krishna's four, Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma, these four places are called as, in that space, and Puri is called as Shankha Kshetra. And just a second, 1 minute. Let's- Yes, so Puri is called as Shankha Kshetra, and Bhubaneswar is called as Chakra Kshetra, so Shankha Chakra, and Jajpur is called as Gada Kshetra, and Konark is called as Padma Kshetra. So Krishna's, these are actually surrounding places of, Jagannath Puri, and we discussed about Bhubaneswar. Bhubaneswar is Lord Mahadev. He resides there in as a Lingaraj Mahadev, and he is the Dhama Rakshak of Jagannath Puri. So Bhubaneswar is called as Chakra Kshetra, Jajpur is Gada Kshetra, and Konark is Padma Kshetra. And this is also called as Narsimha Kshetra. So these are the different names given for this place, Puri Kshetra, right? And the interesting thing is that without devotion, without devotion, no one will be able to know about Lord Jagannath. No one will be, even, it will say sometimes when we might go and see there, but we might not be able to understand complete Krishna without devotion. As I said earlier, I've been born and brought up in Odisha. I've been seeing my, this Rath Yatra from my childhood. But the glories of Rath Yatra, who Jagannath is, that I came to know after 30 years by the mercy of a devotee, and got associated with, this great, I would say, like, Hare Krishna movement, this Prabhupada's movement, and then only I could know about Lord Jagannath, complete who Jagannath is. Though, yeah, it's we can't know Jagannath completely, but at least some, a drop from the ocean is actually being known, right? So that's the glories of Lord Jagannath, that's the glories of Purushottam Kshetra, that's the glories of Rath Yatra, that's the glories of his Mahaprasad, and that is his devotees, right? So there are different devotees, and the activities of the devotees are just fixed. They are just services to do the same thing, nothing else, right? Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you very much. If anyone have any questions, a thought, we can actually discuss. Okay, if no questions, then I'll stop here, and I'm not sure. I'm willing to have again more discussion on next week again. So because Monday and Friday we are doing Bhagavad Gita, so next week again Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you all wishes, we can actually discuss more about Lord Jagannath, because there is a lot to speak about Mahaprabhu's teachings on Jagannath as well, and there's a glorious pastimes of Lord Jagannath in Rajpura that also we can discuss. So as you feel, let me know. We can
Yes,
discuss.
Rup, absolutely. Absolutely.
And share something with Prabhu, something you mentioned, if time permits.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, you mentioned about that currently after the Rath Yatra, the Lord goes to the Gundicha temple,
Yeah.
And obviously, everybody knows that Gundicha was the queen.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about those boons. Obviously, no wife wants that she should not have children, isn't it?
Yes.
So when the king actually asked this boon, the Gundicha Rani, she's cried and cried, because no one, because those days, obviously, if you don't have child, then lots of thing happens, and people tells lots of thing. So that's time Jagannatha gave her the boon that I am your child. And that place, actually, to be honest, that Gundicha is the birthplace of Jagannath.
Lord Jagannath, correct.
And that is why he comes every year. Mother, don't worry, I'm your child, and I will come to see every year to you. So that is why that temple is Gundicha temple.
Oh.
People misconcept that is a Mausima temple, but it is not Mausima temple. Mausima is Mausi's house is actually on the way to the temple. But that Gundicha temple is birthplace, and which is actually because Jagannath becomes her son. So that is how she got the mothership. Otherwise, if you don't have child, you can't get the motherhood. So that's how Gundicha got the Gundicha queen got the motherhood.
Yes.
So that's just to add that.
Yeah, even you describe that, she cried and said, who will do all our ceremonies, like, who will
Yeah,
take
exactly. And even today, behind the Gundicha temple, there is a big pond which is named after Indradumna Sarovar.
Yeah.
And that is where actually the Lord Narsimha incarnated first before it becomes Jagannath. So that's the place is there, and people today do the rituals there.
Yeah, these are there in our next sessions.
Yeah, and you mentioned about these stoves or chulas. There are 752 chulas inside the temple. So and the fire which comes out of that is called Vaishnava Agni. This is a Vaishnava Agni. That's where the fire the food get cooked. And
they don't use lighter or anything else, just on the light.
Yeah. The fire is 24 every day, 24/7.
Yeah.
The fire is there. And that is why this Rath Yatra is also called as Gundicha Jatra, because Lord Jagannath goes to see his mother. And this is the only place in the entire universe where actually three things there. You mentioned about Sankhakshetra. There are three things are there. One is called, you got Shivaism, Vishnuism, Vaishnava, Shivas, and Sakti. So this is the only place which is combination of all these three things: Vaishnavism and Shiva and Sakti. All the three are in the Puri. The way you mentioned about Lingaraj, and that is why there are two Nathas in Puri. One is Jagannatha, one is Lokanath. Lokanath is actually, and both are there are Shiva is actually at the two corner end of the Sankha, because one, the head side and the tail side, both are Shivas. So there is a Lokanath temple is one end, and other temple, Shiva temple is other end. So that is why that is a Shiva place. And the Puri Dham is guarded by 8 Devis. They are Sakti.
Yeah.
So that is why this is the only place in the earth who has got all these three combination of the what we follow is the like Vaishnavism and Shivaism and Sakti. So that's where actually you actually combination of these. And you mentioned a very nice thing when you go to temple. Actually, you said about the eyes. You know what? Everybody must have felt, whosoever has gone into the temple, he must have felt this. See, when you enter into the Singadwara, where the front of the lion Dwara, you will see actually on the lion something called, the tilak, which you get Ram Nadi tilak, that is a U-shape tilak. So that is the tilak which you put on your forehead. So the lion has got that tilak. So the moment you enter that, you might have got so many thoughts that I will ask Lord this, I will ask Lord that, I will ask for this, I'll ask for that. But the moment you go there and you raise your hand towards him, trust me, you will forget everything. You will forget everything to ask. The only thing will come out is the tears will come out from your eyes. And trust me, you try this, you think that I will go and ask for wealth, I'll go and ask for this, I'll ask for that. Trust me, the moment you go there, you will forget everything, because that is why when you enter into the lion, because lion is the symbol of arrogance and all that, but because it has got Ram Tilak on it, it is believed that the moment you enter, it will suck all your desires from yourself. And the moment you enter inside and see Jagannath, you'll forget everything you'll forget, and you'll just watch him, and you'll forget to ask anything, whatever you have planned. And you try this number of times. I have done it so many times, always forgets. So that is, everybody does it, isn't it? You go, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll ask, you will forget everything. So this is my realization, actually.
Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing more things. Again, so
yeah, I can discuss, I can share a lot of things in the next classes or something.
So definitely from next Tuesday, we'll actually discuss more about the inner parts of Jagannath, and also basically when we discuss about Lord, it's always incomplete when we don't discuss about the devotees. So we'll try to discuss about the devotees of the Lord, how Lord reciprocates with the devotees, right? So today we discussed just only about the Vibhishan. He's coming and giving association of grace.
And see this places, the 9 days, 10 days when he stays at that temple, they do all the incarnations, every day they will put in a new dresses of the incarnation. So at this time, during this 9 days away. And a funny thing is, this is the only Lord who takes so many bases, like so many attires. Sometimes he becomes an elephant, sometimes he becomes a lotus flower, sometimes he becomes Ram. So you can see that this is the only Lord who has got so many bases. And if I just put you 2 caps or one big dress, after 5 minutes, you will say, oh, let me take out, it's too hot. But you see, for the devotees, how much pain he is taking wearing all these dresses. And all these dresses has got actually moral, mythological stories behind it to satisfy the devotees, which you can discuss at some point. All these bases, attires, has got a background stories either in some scriptures. So how he actually, why and how he put all these dresses, and it's only for us. And have you ever seen any Lord being dressed as elephant or as a lotus flower? So nowhere you can see these things, these miracles, isn't it? So, but there is a theme behind it, why he gets these dresses. So sometimes, if your time permits, you can discuss this.
I just said, it's all ocean. So we are limited by our time, but his pastimes and his blessings and his mercy is unlimited, never ending. Right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Anyone have any other questions or thoughts before we close today? And again, sorry for taking a bit longer time today. And I hope you all enjoyed actually.
Sorry, I took some time.
No, that's fine. No, we are all here to know more and more about him. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Jai.
Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.